Commandments of the gods. Since ancient times, in many tribes, preference was given to the heavenly gods, who were closest in spirit and blood, who always came to the aid of the white people in all the lands of Midgard, where the tribes of the great race lived, as the oldest scriptures and traditions tell. In those distant ancient times, people and heavenly gods embraced each other and helped one another. The heavenly gods left simple commandments for their earthly kin, ensuring joy for the great race. The commandments are numerous. To follow them, remember, honor the bright gods and ancestors and live by conscience. In ancient times, Perun's commandments were inscribed in runes on golden plates in the Santi of the Veda of Perun. In order for a person to be able to fulfill in his daily life all the commandments given by the all-wise heavenly gods, he should remember two great principles: to sacredly honor the bright gods and our all-wise ancestors, and also to live according to his conscience. In ancient times, the commandments of the supreme god Perun were written in runes on golden plates in the Santias of the Vedas of Perun, in the Book of Wisdom of Perun. The commandments of other heavenly gods were also recorded in ancient times, in the sacred Santi and Harati. Next, we present the commandments of the heavenly gods, a few of the existing multitude that all Orthodox Old Believers Inglings follow and adhere to in their daily lives. The commandments of the god Ramhat. Return to your roots, and you will open the gates to the divine world. Rule: do not enter other worlds with your own laws, but follow the laws of that world. Follow the laws of Ramha the Great. Be wise and perfect. Do not follow the darkness, but follow the light. For those who follow the darkness will perish prematurely. Follow the laws of Ramha the Great. Be wise and perfect. Do not follow the darkness, but follow the light. For those who follow the darkness will perish prematurely. Do not listen to those who call for lies, but pay attention to those who call for the truth. Do not listen to those who say that life is finite, for they themselves do not know what they are proclaiming. Do not listen to those who say that your neighbor is your enemy, but pay attention to those who say that your neighbor is your friend. Travel through many worlds, gaining knowledge and perfecting your spirit. Seek the wisdom of the one God of the kindred and find the light of God on your path. Do not give knowledge to those who turn it to evil, leading to the destruction of all living things. Do not create false commandments and laws that go against the laws and commandments of God, for you will destroy yourselves and lead your descendants astray. Do not strive for other worlds to conquer them, for whoever harbors such thoughts may lose their own world. Do not think that many lands are lifeless, that life on them is invisible to you, imperceptible to your senses. Do not use the white men and white mares for evil, to conquer other worlds, but use them for good and for the knowledge of worlds, and then you will find friendship with the inhabitants of those worlds. Do not show aggression towards those who come to you from other worlds, for how you behave will shape their thoughts about all the inhabitants of your world. Do not destroy your world and its nature, for you will bring about your own ruin and lose your world. Do not show aggression towards those who come to you from other worlds, for how you behave will shape their thoughts about all the inhabitants of your world. Do not destroy your world and its nature, for you will bring about your own ruin and lose your world. Let not a wife reject her first husband, for the heavenly kin will turn away from her. A daughter born in the sacred summer shall be united in marriage with her husband only in the sacred summer. Let not the finger of a father touch the child of another wife when his wife carries his offspring in her womb. Do not take other wives besides your own at any time except in times of trouble, when the male kin perishes in defense of his home, his land, and his faith. Do not use the fascist destroyer against your own world, for you will ruin your living world and lose your descendant Frodo. Keep the memory of all your ancestors, and you will find favor with the gods and your ancestors. Respect the travelers, the messengers of the one God of the kind. Listen to their words and their wisdom. Do not live by the laws that people have created to deprive you of freedom, but live by the laws of the one God. Do not pronounce the name of the one God in Sui, but pronounce it only on great holidays. Honor the heavenly gods, your father and mother, for they gave you life. The father and mother gave you spirit and body, and the gods soul and conscience. Do not scold those who have left your world, for only good things are said about those who have departed. Do not judge those who have strayed from the path of light, but guide them back to the righteous path, for they will answer for their actions before their conscience and their family. Do not be ashamed of what is given to you by your nature and your kind, but be ashamed of ignorance and lack of knowledge. Show respect to your gods and the one Creator, and you will find peace and tranquility in your life, and may the gates of the between worlds be opened for you. Build temples in all worlds, seek the wisdom of God, for those who do not seek the wisdom of God will lose themselves. Honor all the sacred holidays that your ancestors have left you. Build temples in all worlds, seek the wisdom of God, for those who do not seek the wisdom of God will lose themselves. Honor all the sacred holidays that your ancestors have left you. Adorn your life with joy and good deeds for the glory of the gods and your ancestors. Keep my commandments that I have given you, and you will find my help in all times. The commandments of God, Svarog. Honor one another. Son, mother, and father, and live in harmony with your spouse. A husband must only seek one wife. Otherwise, you will not know salvation. Flee from wrongdoing. Seek the truth, and honor your kin and the heavenly kin. A husband must only seek one wife. Otherwise, you will not know salvation. Flee from wrongdoing. Seek the truth. Honor your kin and the heavenly kin. Honor 3 days of the week, the 3rd, the 7th, and the 9th. Honor the great holidays. Therefore, all people should fast on the 3rd and 7th days. If anyone works on the 9th day, they will gain no profit, neither by faith nor by talent on other days without flaw. The 7th day is given to humans, cattle, and fish for rest, for bodily relaxation. Go to each other and care for one another. It will be joyful for you to sing hymns to the gods. Honor great land from the burning of the Marina to the wedding of Jiva. Beware, people, during this time of injustice. Keep your bellies from overeating, your hands from grabbing, and your mouths from cursing. Honor the eggs in the name of the egg of Kashchi, which our rain god broke, causing the flood. Keep your belly strictly from devouring, your hands from plundering, your lips from blasphemy. Honor the eggs in honor of the egg of Koshchai, which our god rain broke, causing the flood. Honor Holy Week, just as our God mourned from the crucifixion to the salvation of the swan Jiva, so should you mourn humbly. And do not drink intoxicating beverages. Do not speak a word of curse. Honor the Kupala days. Remember the victory of Perun, how Perun defeated the beast skipper, and how he granted freedom to his sisters, cleansing them in the waters of Iria. Honor Perun's day, how Perun sought the hand of the maiden on the 5th day, how Perun defeated Ni and cast down the god Velas from the heavens. Remember also the wedding of Perun. Honor the mother of the Lord and the heavenly rod, the protectors of the clans of the great race and the descendants of the heavenly rod. After your harvest, remember Zlatogorka, and also honor the day of the wise folk, son of Indra Yasnosokol. Honor the day of Mother Makosh, the holy radiant great mother, the heavenly mother of God. Honor the day of Tark Dashbog, and remember his wedding. Honor great Inglia and your gods, who are the messengers of the one God rod. Honor the elderly, and protect the youth. Seek the wisdom that your ancestors have left you. Live in harmony with other clans. Help when you are asked for assistance. Do not spare your life to protect your home, your kin, and your holy faith, to defend your sacred land. Do not impose the holy faith on people forcefully, and remember that the choice of faith is a personal matter for every free and independent person. Honor Pashet, And remember the 15-year journey from Daria to Rossenia, how in the 16th summer our ancestors praised the heavenly rod for salvation from the great flood. Live in harmony with nature, do not destroy it, for it is the foundation of your life and all living beings. Do not bring bloody sacrifices to Al-Atar. Do not anger your gods, for it is vile for them to accept the innocent blood of God's creations. Protect your shrine and sanctuary with a strong hand. Help with all your might, you who are travelers and keepers of that ancient secret, the Word of God, the wise Word. Do not eat food with blood, for you will be like wild beasts, and many diseases will settle in you. You should eat pure food that grows in your fields, in your forests, and in your gardens. You will then gain many powers, bright powers, and illnesses and sufferings will not overtake you. Do not cut your light hair, the hair that is different and has gray strands, for you will not grasp God's wisdom and will lose your health. Raise your sons and daughters well. Teach them to live righteously. Instill in them hard work, respect for the young, and reverence for the elderly. Sanctify their lives with the holy faith and the wisdom of the ancestors. Do not boast of your strength before the weak, so that they may praise and fear you. Instead, gain glory and strength in battles against the enemy. Do not speak falsely against your neighbor. Keep your mouth safe from slander. Do good deeds, giving glory to the heavenly kin, to your great ancestors, and to your holy land. As people do to you, so you shall do to them, for every deed is measured by its own measure. Give 1/10 of your wealth to the one God, and 100th to your leader and his companions, so that they may protect your land. Do not reject the unknown and the inexplicable, but try to know the unknown and explain the inexplicable, for the gods help those who strive to know wisdom. Do not take the life of your neighbor, for it was not you who gave it, but the gods. But do not spare the lives of the enemies who attack you and your lands, for they have gone against the will of the gods. Do not accept offerings and rewards for deeds done with the help of the gift of the gods, and for your good deeds, for the gift of the gods given to you will be lost, and no one will speak of the good you do. Honor the commandments of God Perun. Honor your parents and take care of them in their old age, for as you show care for them, so will your children show care for you. Keep the memory of all your ancestors alive, and your descendants will remember you. Protect the old and the young, fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, for they are your kin, the wisdom and the essence of your people. Foster in your children a love for the holy land of the race, so that they are not seduced by overseas miracles, but can themselves create miracles more wonderful and beautiful, giving glory to your holy land. Do not perform miracles for your own benefit, but perform miracles for the good of your kin and the heavenly kin. Help your neighbor in their time of trouble, for when misfortune comes to you, your neighbors will help you. Do good deeds, so that in glory of your kin and your ancestors, you may find protection from your bright gods. Help with all your might to build the shrine and the sanctuary. Preserve God's wisdom, the ancient wisdom. Wash your hands after your deeds, for whoever does not wash their hands loses the power of God. Cleanse yourselves in the waters of Iria, which flow in the Holy Land, to wash your white body and sanctify it with God's power. Establish on your land the heavenly law that your bright gods have given you. Honor people, the days of the Rusalki, and observe the holy festivals of God. Do not forget your gods. Light incense and fragrances in their glory, and you will find the favor and mercy of your gods. Do not wrong your neighbors. Live with them in peace and harmony. Do not humiliate the dignity of others, and your own dignity shall not be diminished. Do not bring misfortune to people of other faiths, for the Creator God is one over all lands and all worlds. Do not sell your land for gold and silver, for you will call down a curse upon yourselves, and there will be no forgiveness for you for all your days without exception. Defend your land and defeat all enemies of your race with righteous weapons. Protect the clans of the Rossans and the Sviatorusis from foreign foes who come into your lands with evil intent and armed. Do not boast of your strength when heading into battle, but rather boast of your deeds when returning from the battlefield. Protect the clans of the Rossans and the Holy Russians from foreign enemies who come to your lands with evil intentions and weapons. Do not boast of your strength when heading into battle, but rather boast of your deeds when returning from the battlefield. Keep God's wisdom a secret. Do not share your hidden wisdom with the pagans. Do not try to convince those people who do not want to listen to you and heed your words. Preserve your shrine and sanctuary from the desecrations of pagans. If you do not preserve the shrines of the holy race and the faith of your ancestors, years of grief and resentment with suffering will visit you. He who flees from his land to a foreign land in search of an easy life is an apostate of his race, and may his race not forgive him, for the gods will turn away from him. Do not rejoice in the misfortunes of others, for whoever rejoices in the sorrows of others calls misfortune upon themselves. Do not speak ill of or mock those who love you, but respond to love with love, and you will find the protection of your gods. Love your neighbor if they are worthy of it. Do not take your sister as a wife, nor your mother as a wife, for you will anger the gods and destroy the bloodline of your kin. Choose wives with white skin to honor your home and lineage. Ensure wives wear appropriate clothing to maintain femininity. Uphold family bonds to follow the Creator's law and retain happiness. Protect the unborn child to avoid the Creator's wrath. Do not wear men's clothing, wives, for you will lose your femininity, but wear what wives are entitled to. Do not destroy the bonds of family union sanctified by the gods, for you will go against the law, the one God Creator, and lose your happiness. Let the child in the mother's womb be unharmed, for whoever kills a child in the womb will bring upon themselves the wrath of the one Creator. Love your wives, for they are your protection and support, and the support of your entire lineage. Do not drink too much intoxicating beverage. Know your limits when drinking, for whoever drinks too much loses their human appearance. The commandments of the Lady Mother of God. Blessed with the enemy, let the firstborn of the family be united in a family union, in the summer of their wisdom. Any woman who renounces her husband and his kin is unworthy to be a mother, and she will not know happiness and joy in her life, only the bitterness of loss. If any mother renounces her child, she will find no peace in her soul. Let every mother dedicate herself to her deeds, creating peace and joy in her home. Let her not renounce her duty to her kin, nor turn away from her sacred duty to her lineage. Let every mother dedicate her soul to all her deeds, and create peace, harmony, and joy in her home. Let no one renounce the will of God, nor their duty to their kin, and let no one turn away from their birth, which is a sacred duty to their lineage. May there be only harmony and love in the family union, and may that family union be spared from misfortunes, hardships, and losses. Live people in harmony with nature, nurturing it rather than destroying it. Let the chosen spouse be accepted in the name of God in the family union, and let them love and honor them as a God, the protector of their lineage. May the Son of God accept his chosen spouse in the family union, and love and honor her as the goddess and guardian of his home, and the continuator of his lineage. Preserve your family unions, sanctified by the gods, in times of joy and in times of sorrow, and may the bright gods help you, and may your ancient lineages multiply. Cherish the divine duties, From childhood, let your golden hair be braided, honor the dignity of your kin, and cover your beautiful braids with protective shawls. Awaken from your foundations with the clear sunshine, as the bright stars guide you to rest. Let the younger son remain with his parents throughout the generations, and let him support his parents in the days of old age, just as they supported him in the days of his youth. If your lineage has more than 6 daughters, connect with a powerful lineage with more than 6 sons. This kinship will strengthen your families. More children bring love, joy, and happiness. Remember, the gods and ancestors protect your lineages. The more children there are in your lineages, the more love, joy, and happiness will dwell in your families. For your children strengthen your lineages and lead them to greatness and prosperity. Never forget, child of the great race, the gods who protect your lineages and all the ancestors of your families, for all the protective gods and wise ancestors are the mighty roots of your lineages, the source of life and prosperity for your families. The Commandments of Strebog. A spiritually inspired family union, may it be sanctified by all the elements and heavenly gods. A man without children does not fulfill his duty to his lineage and great race for long, for his child is the continuation of his ancient lineage. May the fire of your hearts and hearths never be extinguished, if you live according to your conscience and not by the urging of outsiders. Do not desecrate the sacred land of your ancestors with decay, watered by their blood and sweat. Ease your loved ones' departure with sacrifices and spacious boats, so their souls may rise with sacred smoke to the pure asphalt before your ancestors. Honor your ancestors' memory with bloodless sacrifices, for what you offer, they will receive. Do not ruin your souls pursuing earthly goods, as the world's blessings cannot create even the slightest good of the righteous world. Honor the memory of your ancestors with bloodless sacrifices, for whatever you sacrifice to them, that is what they will receive. Do not ruin your souls in the pursuit of earthly goods, for all the blessings of the visible world will not create even the slightest good of the righteous world. Failure to fulfill the commandments of many deprives a person of help from the gods and his ancestors, for only those who observe the commandments and the 2 great principles are helped by all the gods. End all disputes between your clans with brotherly peace, and battles with enemies with a victory feast. Before establishing your family union, let your heart always be submissive to parental will, for a life without parental blessing is worse than captivity. Do not stray, people of the great race, against your pure conscience and the ancient laws of your lineage, for on the winding paths of your life there is no rest for your soul. Cherish, people of the great race, your parents and the elders of your lineage, for there is no one closer or wiser to you than the parents and elders of your ancient families. Do not create, people of the great race, a stormy wind in your heads, thunderous clouds in your words, and a tempest in your hearts. Remember, people of the great race, that the wealth and prosperity of your ancient lineages are initially found in your small children, whom you must raise in love, kindness, and hard work. Know this, people of the great race, that the meaning of life and prosperity for your lineages rests on 4 ancient foundations: faith, conscience, love, and will. Create, people of the great race, according to the prompting of your heart, for your heart is an inexhaustible source of inspiration and divine power. The Commandments of Odin. Let there be no family union between those born in the same year, except for those born on the same day and at the same hour. The greatest and most invaluable treasures in the world are the sword, conscience, and wisdom. Everything else will not bring prosperity to the kin. Master all the arts and ancient wisdom that your kin originally holds, and also learn the arts and ancient wisdom of other peoples, but do not teach everything to other nations. Remember that for a sip from the source of ancient wisdom, it is not a pity to give even one's eye, for those who know the runes see without eyes. Do not reveal the secret of the runes to other peoples, for they will use the ancient secret wisdom, and the greatest power of nature against you and your families. Every deceased must depart to the heavenly realm, and their good must be lifted onto the ship, for each one must arrive in Valhalla with the good that was with them on the pyre. The ashes of the deceased should be cast into the waters of a river, for each one must arrive in Valhalla with the good that was with them on the pyre, and make use of what they themselves buried in the earth. The ashes of the deceased must be thrown into the waters of a river or sea, or, having collected a jug, buried in the ground, and in memory of the people who know, it is necessary to fill a mound. And for all those who stand, a memorial stone should be erected. At the beginning of winter, it is necessary to make bloodless sacrifices to the ancient gods for the harvest received, in the middle of winter, for the spring sprouting, and in the middle of spring, for victory. Every real man from any ancient family should know that conscience and sword must be protected from childhood. It is unacceptable to forgive someone who intentionally does evil, for evil that goes unpunished multiplies, and the guilt for the increase of evil rests on those who leave the wrongdoer unpunished and do not bring them to the righteous judgment of God. Always be steadfast and resolute in battles against the enemy, and do not let go of your swords, protecting your ancient kin and following the eternal righteous path to the hall of Valhalla. Do not let the ancient fear of the unknown enter your hearts, nor allow foolishness and ignorance to cloud your thoughts and words. Every standing man from any ancient kin must know that the development and multiplication of his ancient kin are aided only by four great forces: pure conscience, ancient faith, a sharp sword, and hard work. Repay people only with good for good, and do not do evil and unworthy things where you have been received with kindness and an open heart. Do not repay people good for the evil done to you, for if you repay good for evil, then what will you repay for good? Know, people, that every descendant of the ancient gods must have ancestral faith, a clear mind, a curious intellect, a loving and brave heart, a pure conscience, strong hands, and a firm will. The commandments of Vladawada. The family union, deepened by the ancient faith of our forebears, will be built upon the great principle that carries the spiritual swastika. Know that harmony flows into opposing realms, except for the swastika and triswastika. For these heavenly realms do not give rise to harmony, but to mutual love and fertility. Preserve and cherish in your large and great families the ancient wisdom of your ancestors, and the heavenly wisdom of your bright gods. The highest heavenly truth becomes accessible and understandable only to those people who strive for the heights of creation, advancing along the golden path of spiritual and mental perfection. Protect the highest truth from dark forces and the ignorant with sleeping souls. If they seize this knowledge, they will distort and hide it. For if they seize the knowledge of the highest truth, they will distort it and hide it from the eyes of those seeking the golden path of spiritual and soulful perfection. Pass on the wisdom of creative creation that your lineages hold to your descendants, and let this wisdom flow from fathers to sons and from grandfathers to grandsons. Preserve, people, the beauty of your native land for the descendants of your ancient families, increasing the beauty of your native land, giving glory to the gods and your ancestors. Do not allow, people, evil and unjust anger into your souls, for they will darken your souls, and your hearts will become hardened. Truth and wisdom are lost. It is the duty of every man to father sons to continue the ancient lineages, because they themselves do not know what they are proclaiming, for it is impossible to lose what is connected with your souls and hearts. The sacred duty of every man from the great race and the descendants of the heavenly lineage is to father sons, so that they may become the continuers of the ancient great lineages. It is indeed the great responsibility of every man from the truly great race to father daughters, for they are to give birth to children to continue the ancient great lineages, the commandments of the number of God. Born in Aramkata, may they bring harmony to all children born in the remaining summer. Those born in the heavenly halls of the Virgin, do not seek your destined one in the heavenly halls of the Virgin. Do not waste time in vain, for he who loses a fraction of time piece by piece loses his life. Those born in the heavenly chambers of the Virgin, let them not seek their betrothed in the heavenly chambers of the Virgin. Don't waste time in vain, for he who loses a fraction of time piece by piece loses his life. From dawn to dusk, create people, and from dusk to dawn, rest people. No personal freedom or will can change the flow of the river of time and the long-standing presence before the heavenly lineage and your gods. Know, people of the great race, that each being has its own course of time for life, and therefore do not take away another's life. For by disrupting the course of time for other beings, you alter the course of your own life. If every person strives for a goal in life, fulfilling their purpose in accordance with the flow of life's time, then their life will gain a higher spiritual meaning. Do not waste time in vain, but fill your life with holiness and good deeds, for the glory of the gods and your ancestors. Live by your conscience to find peace and meaning in life. Every event occurs at a time set by the gods, and destiny will unfold. Ta, reign, God's commandment. With God's blessing, let there be no strife in family unions. Every event in nature and in your life happens at a certain time set by the gods, and in its own time frame. And no matter how much you may reject this, what is destined to happen will surely occur. The commandments of Tar, blessed by God Perun. For family, no strife or discord between them. Giving part of your soul to children increases it. Scatter love to lose it, radiate love to multiply it. Whoever gives a part of their soul to their children does not diminish their soul, but rather increases it. He who squanders love will lose it, but he who radiates love will multiply it. Know this, people of the great race, that it is necessary to treat all living beings created on Midgard earth with love and kindness. Whoever comforts and warms an orphan child has done a small deed, but whoever provides shelter and teaches them to work hard has accomplished a greater deed. Whoever does not support their kin and their faith in times of hardship is a renegade of their lineage, and they will find no forgiveness for all days without exception. Whoever comforts and warms an orphaned child has done a small deed, but whoever provides shelter and teaches them to work hard has accomplished a greater deed. Whoever does not support their kin and their faith in times of hardship is a renegade of their lineage, and they will find no forgiveness for all days without exception. Let conscience and the laws of the family be the peacemaker of all in all your actions. Reject foreign thoughts and actions leading to endless hell. Honor the Vedas. Let Veda live on your lips. Preserve your loved ones' lives. Find help from high gods. Protecting a child from constructive deeds destroys their soul. Preserve the lives of your relatives and loved ones, and you will find help from your high gods. Whoever protects their child from constructive deeds is destroying their child's soul. Whoever indulges the whims of their child is destroying the great spirit of that child. The Vedas are understood through the living word, for only the living word reveals the meaning hidden in the Vedas. Do not destroy your nature and the blood of your kin, for these are two great forces that allow your ancient lineages to continue existing. Remember, child of the great race, that a family union created without divine and parental blessing is not free from suffering and misunderstandings.